Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled I'm turning 30 with no husband, no home, and no kids. Let's get right into it.
And today I am going to be talking about the fact that I recently came to realization that in 6 months I'm turning 30. I have no kids. I don't have a home, like in terms of a mortgage, and I don't have a husband, nor do I even have a boyfriend. So I've recently had a conversation with my friends, yeah, and all of us are turning 30 next year. Multiple people have asked me, Zoe, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing for your 30th? Like, you need to do something big, especially since especially back in the day, I used to be very much like, I celebrate my birthday multiple, like, I'll have like 2, 3 birthday celebrations, like, I was on it. So they were like, yeah, if you're 30th, your last, you're no longer going to be in your 20s. What are you going to do? Are you traveling? No. So in my head, yeah, I'm thinking, what is expected of me and how I feel are not correlating. Now, obviously, people correlate your 30s or your 30th birthday as you need to make it big and bold, like that's a new decade, a new chapter. And I agree. It is very important, but the whole concept of you need to do something massive because time is running out is something I've never necessarily believed in. But anyways, so the reason why I wanted to make this video, right, I've seen a number of content where people are like things they wish they'd done in their 20s, and obviously I'm about to leave my 20s, and I know I've got audiences that are obviously over 30, under 30, and I was reflecting on my life and I'm just like, okay, if you guys know, I'm technically unemployed, right? And when it comes to things that society, especially from a Nigerian home, things that I am supposed to have achieved by this age, things that our mothers, the aunties, our grandmothers have achieved by the age of 30, that typically they would have had kids by this age, right? At least one child. They would maybe not be a homeowner, but they will be married, yeah? Or have a boyfriend. If you guys know, with me, I'm not even, I've given up on love. I've given up on love. So even dating, in order to even be married, you must even still be, trying to romanticize, love somebody. Like, I have given up on love at this stage of my life. So a husband or a marriage even being on the horizon. So with that in mind, I was obviously reflecting, and with my friendship group, yeah, all my friends in general, we are all in different parts of life. I have friends that are married, have kids. I have a friend that is have a long-term boyfriend, and they are planning when they're going to get married. They're also planning when to have kids, because she's really adamant that she wants, I think, like 3 or 4 kids, and she doesn't want to be a mother like at the age of 34. Like, she wants to have kids not as soon as possible, but yeah, in some ways as soon as possible. Then I have another friend who actually said to herself in 2025 she wants to go traveling, she wants to explore the world, because she hasn't been able to travel because she was sick for many years. So she's beat her sickness, she's good, she's healthy, so she's just like, you know what, mate, all the years where I couldn't travel.
All right, get to the point, all right? I hate the British accent. I'm sorry, yo. I know we're both English-speaking countries, but the British accent, it's like impossible for women to make that thing sound sexy. To me, it just doesn't sound sexy. It sounds, yeah. Anyway, look, I think she's realizing that. I don't want to say time is running out, but time is running out. The wall is real. It's undefeated. As a woman, they tell you to delay having kids, to go get your education first, to put professional success over social success. And women do this, but then when they actually start to age, they're like, wait a minute. Am I supposed to be doing this? That's the big question. Because oftentimes, one's going to replace one or the other, right? Either your family's going to replace your job, or your job's going to replace your family. And it looks like women chose to replace their families.
Now is the time, and I completely understand. So for that friend, because her health has been such a challenge for so many years and she's been able to overcome it, she wants to do something she's always wanted to do, which was to travel. Now, having friends that are different stages in life, yeah, and in terms of, especially from a Nigerian household, societal, okay, these are things that you are supposed to have achieved by a certain age. I have sat down and thought, okay, how do I feel about this? And this video, I need people to understand the purpose of this video. This video is not to see the positive in a negative situation. So if you're nearly 30 and you're in the same position as me, you don't have a man, or you don't look, that it's not likely you're getting married in any, like, maybe in the next couple of years, but not in the next couple of months, and you don't have any kids, and you haven't yet bought your first property, this video is not to comfort you. This video is not to highlight positives in a negative situation, because for me, it's all about perspective. And I don't want to sound kumbaya. I don't want to say like life is worth living. No. I want to say that I have always felt, to the depth of me, my life is my life. We've seen so many incidents where life is taken before we thought it would. Like, people die young, people die old. For me, my life and life in itself can change in a snap of a finger. Like, everything you've planned out, it just takes one event for everything to derail it, and then you have to refigure life. So for me, I've always felt that I'm living the life God has wanted me to live, right? And even if you're not a religious person, you can at least understand the concept of, as long as you're putting in the work. This is not me saying, you're sleeping at home, you're not trying to do anything with your life, you're not trying to achieve things. But as long as you're putting in the work here, you are actively trying to live life to the fullest, and you are being hardworking, right? And you generally have a clean heart. Right? Doesn't mean that you're perfect, doesn't mean that you don't get angry, doesn't mean that, there's not things to improve on, but you don't look at people and envy people, and you don't wish bad upon people, that you generally have a clean heart. I honestly believe you are exactly where God has intended you to be at that stage. Now, the metrics I've listed, such as marriage, kids, and home, we as society have apportioned certain achievement with a certain age. I don't, do you know why I don't necessarily, no, not necessarily, do you know why I don't believe it? For so many years, I've mentally and physically constrained myself, right? I feel like, especially physically, I was a prisoner in my own body. I wasn't able to physically move as much as I wanted to move. There's so many things I was not able to.
Okay, I want to address the fact that she just blamed God for where she is in life. God does not want you to be a feminist. Okay, feminism is in direct contrast of the word. The Bible and feminism are polar opposites, completely. In fact, feminism is trying to restructure the Bible to say, instead of man, to say human. Yeah, because equality, whatever this thing that people are worshiping, which, by the way, we know we're not equal. We know we're not equal. I got a Johnson, you got a Virginia. We're not equal. I don't bleed once a month. We're not equal. I don't carry pregnancies to term. We're not equal. And that's okay. Feminism has convinced you that this is a bad thing, that you're not like men. Because in order to be valuable, you need to be like a man. And that's so irresponsibly stupid. It's funny that we got to make video after video after video after video after video about it. But look, I respect it that she believes in God. I'm with that. I'm with it too. But God doesn't control all this. We are in control of what's going on to an extent. You feel me? Like, society plays a role, and God plays a role in society. But society has to acknowledge God in order for it to play a role. If we ignore God, he plays, in some ways, no role into what's going on the ground right now. He ultimately has the answer, and we ultimately have to answer to him. But, what's going on in society, we're not going to the Bible for direction. So this is not God's fault. This is something that we grew up learning about, that we're trying to make the world equal, where there's one, we look at everything the same. There's no color difference. There's no gender difference. We're at a point now where there's going to be no age difference. And because of this, we have massive brain rot in the minds of the average person. And so no one challenges some of these propagandist ideas that are perpetrated through mass media and through colleges and through social clubs and environments. It's one big marketing agenda. And I can see through the marketing because I went to school for marketing. But anyway, I get to this point because I think it's very interesting and very telling that people, no matter what happens to them in the world, they're going to blame something or someone, and they can't look inwards and say, you know what, I might be part of the problem. Because just because the propaganda said this doesn't mean I have to follow it. I tell this to people all the time, and I know people can get mad in the comments about it, but I'm going to say it again. I'm red pill about food and nutrition. I had heart disease when I was 25 years old, and I was scared for my life. And I found out that a lot of the disease I got from my condition was through my diet. I had a horrible diet. And this is why I eat fresh fruit and vegetables and a low-fat vegan diet. I know people are like, oh my God, don't disparage me. I'm not trying to disparage you. You eat whatever you want to eat. It's not going to make me sick or healthy, whatever you eat. But I'm just trying to tell you as a reference that this is what I've done in my life in order to really rethink all my presuppositions. Everything was on the chopping block. Not just, what we learned about dating, what we learned about money, right? Also, what do we learn about food? Like, no one even challenged that whatsoever. Listen, if you think eating meat is the healthiest thing, then continue to do it, right? But I think people should go as far as to try to understand what the vegans are talking about as far as health-wise, and see if it actually is a legitimate case. Because we know all vitamins come from plants, right? And I'm not trying to make this a big discussion about conspiracies and what we learn, but again, none of this is God's fault. That's my only thing I'm trying to say. None of this is God's fault. God gave us the mind. God gave us our ability to think for ourselves. Unfortunately, many people don't want to.
There's so many things I was able to do despite any health challenges I had, because I said, listen, life, I don't know how long I'm going to be alive. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to go where I want to go. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do stuff. So I didn't let my situation restrict me from living the life I wanted to live. But that does not negate the fact that I did not live the life that I wanted to live. Being like at the way I was and being like obviously much heavier than I am now, I couldn't walk. Like everything was just a struggle, right? So for me personally, yeah, being in a position now, losing weight, yeah, and this is obviously this is not a weight loss video at all, never. But it's more so like having something holding you back and then you've been able to kind of overcome it or work on it. For me, I've only really started living. I've only really started doing things I've always wanted to do. Till this day, I still haven't been to a theme park. Till this day, at the tender age of 29, I've been to a theme park, yeah, but in my head, yeah, even though I've like lost the weight and I definitely can go on a theme park, I'm still remembering the 15-year-old girl who went to Fort Park. And when I went to Fort Park, I'll try to go on one of like the rides, yeah, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, the guy came to come meet me, so I'm so sorry, like the thing is not gonna close, like. Obviously, he didn't say you're too big for the ride, but he essentially said that. And ever since then, I've never gone back to a theme park. I've never gone back to a ride. And even though that sounds so small because it's at Zogi, bro, it's just a theme park. But there's so many things, yeah, in my head I haven't been able to do. I've always wanted to do because I held myself back, but there were things that restricted me from being able to do it. So if you now tell me, yeah, if someone for so many years, I wasn't able to live the life I wanted to live, am I now supposed to feel bad that I don't have no damn little girl? I'm joking. I don't have kids, or I don't have a man, or all of these things. Because in my head, I'm thinking, I'm now living the life I want to live, right? And when it comes to feeling like you've been restrained or held back, it's not even just about physical, right? If you watching a video, let's say you've been a 5'8" all your life, this still applies to you, because I feel like everyone has had a thing or multiple things that have mentally, psychologically held them back from living the life they've always wanted to live. That could have been your confidence, that could have been your family, it could have been your upbringing, it's a sense of, low worth, insecurities. Everyone has something that has prevented them from living life to the fullest.
You're going to hear women say this a lot, living life and living life and living life. What they don't say out loud is Casual hookups is a part of that. Having fun, traveling, becoming a boss babe. This is living life to the modern woman. And again, this has nothing to do with God. God just wants you to live your life, you know? I think what people don't understand about the Bible and Christianity and these different religions is that it gives humans a purpose. It's bigger than just, I think we have this happiness purpose in our mentality where it's our purpose in life to just be happy and enjoy things. So she's talking about going to roller coaster rides and the theme park and, you know, missing out on that because she was a big back, you know, and I get how that was, that hurt her, right? And she was sad about that, but it was just an indication that she was unhealthy, right? And think about what society has lied to us about, right? The fact that, look at relationships. Everything we think we know about relationships and we're told about relationships is a lie. Everything, right? A man's supposed to pursue a woman and blah, blah. That's a lie. Women pursue men. That's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? You're pursuing me because I am shelter. I'm security. You're chasing after security and shelter. I'm not chasing after liability. Think about it, right? In the wild, it's more dangerous for a woman. So she had to, what? Pursue a man. Wild, I'm chasing after you. You're where the danger's at. I'm where the safety's at. So that's a lie, right? We lie. Everything we know about dating is a lie. But also now she had to fight with her own health. She's being overweight, and she probably didn't understand how she was overweight. A lot of people don't understand why we're obese, like more than we've ever been in human history. There's more obese people than ever of all time. One thing I can tell you easily is it's the meat and dairy. I know people, oh my God, you're getting to the meat and dairy. All right. If you want to eat meat and dairy, I'm not saying you should not. But if it's more than 3% of your diet, you're going to live in a way that our ancestors never lived. They never lived eating more than 3% of their diet in meat and dairy. I'm telling you. We've eaten way less vegetables than we've done in the past. The way I know, look at the NHANES study. The study of the NHANES, right? I'm not trying to get too deep in this, but I'm trying to say this is another lie that we have to fight as well. We're fighting the lie of what we're supposed to eat for health, right? Oh, you gotta get calcium. You gotta get calcium. Milk makes it good for the body and the bones and protein. You gotta get protein. You want muscle, you gotta get protein. Bro, everyone says that, and how come we're unhealthy? Everyone talks about what you think. That's the zeitgeist, what people understand. That's the dogma, right? That's the current established opinion that you need protein. Well, if everyone needs protein so much, how come everybody's sick? And what people don't even know is that there's hospitals right now, oncologists, restricting protein as a cancer treatment right now. Yeah, right now. Right? So I don't want to get too deep into that, but I'm into health, right? I'm a personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. So when I get to these topics, I get really passionate about it. But I think it leads to the problem. If you're unhealthy, if you're uneducated, if you're not confident about how you feel about yourself, how can you defend yourself against a tyrannical government? How can you not be controlled like a puppet? You're too busy trying to survive because your health is poor. You're not smart enough to know any better, right? About your health, even about your whereabouts and how to live your life and how to pursue life. Okay? You're not confident because since you're not healthy, you're out of shape. You spend a lot of time dealing with the embarrassment about being out of shape. You can't go on rides. So all these issues, unconfident, unhealthy, and unintelligent, you are the easiest person to control. And this is why we're fed the diet we're fed. We're told about dating. Okay? And we're too busy trying to become healthy and stay alive, even though we're eating our diseases literally every day. We're eating our diseases every day. It's not just cupcakes and potato chips and greasy food. It's also high protein. I'm just saying. But, you know, don't take my word for it. You could go on a Google or you could go on a rabbit hole hunt for that if you want to. You'd be very interested to find out. Google words like protein poisoning. Yeah, Google that. To go on a rabbit hole with that. Anyway, I say this to say that because we've been so lied to purposely by our angel caretakers of society, you know, we're making such bad decisions about dating, about how to live our life, about what to do with our time. And by the time we figure it out, it's too late. By the time this girl figures out, because she had to just battle, and I had to do the same thing too. I had to battle health, right? I had heart disease. That's why I got a book right now. I'm going to put it in I have an Amazon link. So check out my Amazon affiliate link. I'll put the book in the affiliate link. But it's called How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. It's a book. American book. Came out the Cleveland Clinic. I actually met the author before. I got a picture with him too. I think he's brilliant, but he would never get the Nobel Peace Prize, even though he found a cure to the #1 killer in America, which is heart disease. It's the #1 killer in America. More people die from heart disease than anything else. in America, right? I think it makes up 500,000 deaths a year, something like that. So just think about that, right? And he recommends a plant-based diet, by the way, right? But he won't get the acknowledgement because what? It'll make people healthy. They won't need surgeries. They won't need medicine. And, the medical industry is so big because everybody's sick. That's why girls are trying to become nurses and stuff. And doctors. I'm going to laugh about this, but this is the first day of the year, right? Happy New Year. I'm a personal trainer. The first person I trained today was actually a stretch. So I do stretches for clients, assisted stretches, right? My first client is an internist, which is like a general practice doctor, okay? He's tight everywhere, completely tight. And he told me something I would never forget today. I was like, Doc, how many people you see a day? He said, I see 100 people a day. I was like, 100 people a day? He's like, yeah. He's like, I got help. But he sees 100 people a day. I'm like, damn, so you probably get like what? I'm looking at, if he works 8-hour day or whatever, you probably got 5, 10 minutes. Just get about 5, 10 minutes with people. Damn, man. I was like, so what time you got to make time for like working out? And he said, oh man, I barely got any time. Like, I was like, how often are you sleeping? How much sleep? How much you sleeping? He sleeps 4 hours a day. Yeah. So here's a man that's overworked, right? Out of shape, right? And he's your doctor. And he's supposed to lead you towards health. But he's actually coming to me for help. To assist him in the pains and aches he has in his body because his body's tight. If you guys don't know, you got to stretch. You got to actually do strength training too, because if you don't strength train, your muscles are going to atrophy. That means they're going to get smaller. So working out is actually kind of like brushing your teeth. You got to do it. It's like taking a shower. You got to do it. But so many people neglect it. Another reason why people are unhealthy, they're not even going to the gym. They're not even fit. They're very sedentary. So they sit all the time, right? Lower back pain. I mean, I could just tell you the recipe of disaster, what's going on in America and in the first world countries. But I'm saying all this to say that with all these confusing, conflicting problems that we have simultaneously, we're still trying to figure out how to do love. And that's nearly impossible because no one's listening to each other. Men don't understand women, women don't understand men, and therefore we're not getting along, we're not having families. We're not reproducing, and the replacement rate, right? We're not we're losing people in America in a sense, right? Like the population is declining because we have this issue, and puts America at a very vulnerable place. Yeah, I would honestly say, and if people think that what I'm talking about is not related, it's very much related because when you don't have no husband, no home, no kids, what do you have? The state. Your state property. Anyway, like this video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.